Yo, happy holidays to you and yours. Welcome back to the channel. I know it has been a while since I hopped on. There was no question that I had to knock out the Sonic X Shadow review, so without further ado, let's get into it. Talk about surprises. This is one that I was not expecting at all. Fearless, Year of Shadow is the latest marketing campaign from Sega that hyper-focuses on Shadow the Hedgehog. And for good reason. You can say Sonic as a brand is in a very, very healthy spot and a very lucrative spot. Tons and tons of merchandising and collaborations. The movies are doing great, with the third installment featuring Shadow himself, and the game is back in good graces with critics and fans alike. So Sonic X Shadow Generations, a full remaster of the 2011 hit Sonic Generations, and a brand new campaign surrounding our guy Shadow. For the younger viewers of the channel, if you did not know, Shadow was introduced over 20 years ago, 2001 on the Sega Dreamcast with Sonic Adventure 2 and the more popular port, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Shadow would soon become one of the franchise's most popular characters, appearing in pretty much every game and spin-off after that. Shadow even got his own game, called Shadow the Hedgehog. Look, I remember playing this game back in the day, and I remember not hating it, but was it the best game ever? No. But it's not as bad as some would say. So fast forward today. Does this game does justice for our boy Shadow? Maybe so. With all the hype and raving reviews, I sure hope so. Let's get into it. So just like most modern Sonic releases, there is what I like to call prequel material that usually gets released prior to the game. In this case, we have an animated miniseries called Dark Beginnings, which is pretty much acts as a retelling of Shadow's story in this beautifully animated shorts. We also have this short 10-page manga featuring the also adorable Childs. Look, I'm still waiting for the Child Garden to reboot. Sega, what are we waiting on? And more marketing materials to promote the return of Shadow. So, if you've been following this channel for a while, you know I pretty much grew my subscriber base by reviewing Sonic games and other Sega titles along the way. There was no doubt that I was going to eventually review this game. Now, 4 years ago, I reviewed the original release of Sonic Generations, which I will link in the description, but I'm sure some of you want my take on the game now. So, here's how I feel about Sonic Generations in 2024. If you're only here for the Shadow content, skip to this timestamp to get to that portion of the review. Sonic Generations' story is pretty simplistic in itself. Sonic is celebrating a birthday when this mysterious being called the Time Eater comes to disrupt the timeline, leaving Sonic and his past self to revisit stages from their past adventures to rescue their friends and stop Eggman once and for all. Very simple plot and nothing insane. You guys know how I feel about Sonic lore. I don't really care for it, so the stories in these games are not really the selling points for me, to be honest. So, as someone who grew up playing Sonic the Hedgehog since the Genesis days, I absolutely loved Sonic Generations when originally released. Playing through some of Sonic's most memorable stages throughout the franchise's history was a blast, and with the upgrades that this port has to offer, it's even better. Things like being able to collect Chow in the stages, or the upgraded frame rate, all great things to have for one of the best Sonic games to date. You'll play stages from the Genesis era all the way to modern times, with bosses in between each of these stages, which is also a great nostalgia trip. As much as I love Sonic Generations, the only issue I had, and this is just me nitpicking, but I felt there was a huge opportunity to add more stages as maybe unlockable, or hell, even DLC. I would have paid for some of these stages. I would have loved to play through a modern version of Ice Cap Zone, or Mystic Cave, or Aquatic Ruin, maybe even a classic version of Emerald Coast or Middle Harbor. That's just my wish, you know? I also didn't care for the final boss of this game, the Time Eater. Maybe I'm just bad at it, but I never enjoyed this boss. And trying to get that achievement for not getting hit? Nah. Overall, if you never played Sonic Generations, this is an excellent way to do so, and it's easy to see why this is one of the highest rated games in the franchise. It's really good stuff. Now look, if you want my more in-depth thoughts of this game as an individual, go check out the review that I left down in the description, but now let's get into the Shadow campaign. Let's get into it. Okay, now first off, the presentation for this, outstanding. The cutscenes here look fantastic, and even the in-game visuals. You could tell that the Shadow side is running on a completely different engine because it looks and feels more cinematic while you play, and you can notice this as early as the first stage, which is a preview of what's to come. Now, just like Sonic Generations, in Shadow's campaign, you will play through the stages from previous games. Stages like Rail Canyon from Sonic Heroes, or Space Colony Arc from Sonic Adventure 2, and more. Like I stated before, if you grew up with these games, you will enjoy being able to relive these stages and see the new twists and turns that the devs put into these stages, which I must say they did a phenomenal job. Now, playing as Shadow is an absolute blast. Not only does he share the same abilities as Sonic, such as the boosting and the homing attack, but Shadow has access to all these chaos powers that you will unlock as you progress through the campaign. Now, you already will have access to chaos control from the very beginning, but the abilities you unlock will improve Shadow's mobility, allowing things like surfing or flight, which integrates seamlessly into Shadow's natural movement. I love this, and the stages and challenges do a great job on utilizing these new abilities, so it's great stuff. So, two of the biggest highlights for me for this campaign were the boss fights and the hub world stages exploration. Starting with the boss fights, so just like Generations, you'll be fighting bosses from previous titles. Bosses like the Bio Lizard from SA2 or the Metal Overlord from Sonic Heroes, and even Mephiles from Sonic 06. And I must say, these are some of the most fun I've had with any boss fights in any Sonic game. Plus, there's some really cool cinematics and scenes that Shadow has that he's really showing off his powers, and I love it. The hub world obviously took inspiration from Sonic Frontiers, with it being such a large playground and obstacle course that you slowly unlock as you complete different challenges throughout the world. Most definitely a step up from the side-scrolling hub world from the Sonic side. Tons to explore here and many unlockables to get your hands on, so explore. So, is Sonic X Shadow Generations worth the purchase? Absolutely. Not only do you get one of Sonic's best adventures, but you also get a pretty amazing side campaign which is filled with unlockables, fun stages, and great cinematography. So, yeah. Hey, yo, to my continued supporters, salute to y'all. Thank y'all so much for continuing to support the videos. Even when I take like these long hiatuses offline from doing reviews and all that, y'all continue to engage with the content by sharing, commenting, and all that good stuff. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. And yeah, more content on the way. I thank y'all so much for rocking with your boy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. And if you enjoyed this review, I have a whole bunch of other Sega Sonic reviews down in the description, and there's a playlist for it as well, so make sure you guys check that out. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace.